Okay, let's do it. Let's get into this. Let's record a gosh dang video. This is a new show that we're gonna do, and I'm gonna go ahead and call it Let's Fail Together, because this is a channel where I want to invite unsuccessful attempts at things. There's so much on the internet where people are presenting themselves first and foremost as it being perfect, or if they're not perfect, they're like close to perfect. You know what I'm talking about. And don't get me wrong, we're all striving to be perfect. We all want to be the absolute best versions of ourselves, right? So that is the goal. However, in order to achieve a goal like that, it might require you to find out what the worst version of yourself is. And that's what this show's about. We're not trying to be depraved humans here. We're just drawing things. But I want to draw things with the allowance to fail. Hey Garrus, you gonna join us? You gonna hang out with us? You gonna go on my shoulder, or do you want to go and bite all my papers? Let's Fail Together is a show about working outside of our comfort zone. We're gonna try doing things that we've never tried before, or that we aren't very good at, and see if we can get a little bit good at them. If this ever becomes an ASMR channel, that's the art direction. So what's the first thing that we're gonna do for this show? What's the technique that we're gonna try out? Well, I've recently been getting really into drawing with Waffles. I really like her channel. I like how chill she is and how she walks you through the whole process of how she thinks about making images. I think the first video that I saw of drawing with Waffles is this one called Boom, Inspiration, Filling a Spread in My Sketchbook, in which she plays around with a ballpoint pen and a Copic marker, and she found inspiration from Cosmic Spectrum, and through watching that video, I learned that with these two bits, what are these? These two marquee sticks work together in kind of a cool way, so let's play. This is my Stillman & Byrne notebook. I love this paper. It's really good for multimedia. It's a little bit on the thicker side, and I'm gonna be honest with you, and I shouldn't be honest with you because it's gonna ruin the illusion of this being my first time. But you know what? Just like how I thought with my first boyfriend, I want this to be special. So I'm not gonna lie. I didn't lie to him, though. What am I saying? I played around with this technique a little bit already, and the reason why I did it was because I don't have the same pens that Waffles does. I have a lot of other kinds of pens, and at first I was playing with this Miniso pen with like a bunch of different colors, and I had a bunch of different I have a bunch of different Copic marker colors as well, and I wasn't sure which ones were going to interact well with other ones, and in retrospect, I should have filmed that whole thing. That's the point of this, right? So I'm just gonna learn from what I learned before I started the video, and in the future, just show it. Dicks out, just like my first boyfriend. The materials that I decided on ultimately are these guys. First, I have a standard-ass Bic pen. It's a Bic pen, BIC, for men pen. It's a gender-neutral pen, but they have like a for girls pen, so that suggests that this one might not be for girls. That's a whole thing, but whatever. It's a pen. And then I have a Copic sketch marker, and I like Copic sketch markers. They're fun. By the way, me showing you my jar of markers, I feel self-conscious about this flex, and I want you guys to know that once a year at Comic-Con, that's also a flex. I'll not say that then. Once a year, I buy 6 Copic markers because I'll talk about Comic-Con. There's a really great booth at Comic-Con called Marker Universe, and I go there every single time I go to Comic-Con, and they always run a sale, like 6 Copics for a discounted price. And so every year, for the past like 5 years, I've bought 6 Copics until last year where they stopped selling Copics. Woe is me, but I mean, I'm good. I got the colors I want. That's where I got this guy. This is a Copic sketch marker in the color Cool Gray Colorado. It's very light. It's a very light tone. We're gonna do a little testy boy right there. You can hardly see it, but you'll see what's gonna happen because I already did this a little bit, but I'll show you right now. Whoop! Right, so with my standard Dick pen, let me just draw a little bit. Draw some dashes and things, and then we take the Copic marker, and watch what happens when I put a little bit of that Copic marker on top of the Bic pen. Whoa! How snazzy is that? And this normally would be a thing that you'd want to avoid. However, I think we can maybe use it to our advantage in like a cool drawing. I'm just gonna draw a little test ball. Look at that. This is the color of the marker I would want you to remember. But then the moment that the marker hits that pen, it gets blendy, baby. Let's do a little doodling. Maybe I want to draw a girl. In my personal art journey, I'm trying to figure out what my go-to is when it comes to style, drawing people style. Because I feel like it changes all the time. Sometimes I'm doing giant anime eyes. Sometimes I'm being realistic. I should probably find some kind of midway point for that. Always thick eyebrows, though. I want to put thick eyebrows on everything I draw. What should her hair look like? Ponytail? Give her a sharp look. There's sharp eyebrows. I do love big hair. And the contrast of like slick pulled back hair and then a big poofy ponytail. Here she's turned away from us. Maybe she's got her arms behind her back because she's cheeky. I don't like what's going on back here. Probably like anything that's going on right here. What do I want to do about clothes? I keep seeing her like naked in an apron, and I don't want to draw a girl naked in an apron. That's not the vibe I'm going for with this. What is the vibe? What is the vibe? It looks cold and nude. And that's not the vibe that I want her in. Is she a mermaid? Because if she's cold and nude, if I make her a mermaid, that would be like normal. Which means her hair would be tied up in something like kelp. Or a kelp scrunchie. That's cute. A little bit of a pointed ear. Because we're living in the fantasy world now. Do we want to get weird and fishy with her? Give her like gills on her neck. Let's see what happens when I add a little bit of this. I know I started this whole thing off saying that we were going to fail together, but what if we succeed on the very first one? Yeah, this is actually looking pretty rad. Can you tell that I don't really know back anatomy? All right, Beth, you gotta be a little bit more gentle around the chin area because she has a beard, and I don't think that's the goal. So here's a little sketch. I like it. That's how people's backs are. Maybe I should look up a reference image. Woman looking over shoulder, nude. Lol. Oh wow, there's a lot of reference. Okay. Internet, you're creeping me out, but also thank you. So I am doing a thing that I shouldn't be doing. And that is relying too heavily on my reference. So I decided on this pose, and I like how this looks, but because I can't find like exactly the right picture of a woman naked from the back, I'm second guessing my choices here. And that I shouldn't do. Draw what you know, not what you see. You've drawn ladies before. I should really nail down this face before I do anything else. Taking a very anime proportion with it. This isn't quite right. The face is divided into 3 sections in general. Like all of this is variable because everybody looks a little bit different, but like bottom of, yeah, I got a ruler. Oh shit. Bottom of the chin to the bottom of the nose is a measurement. Bottom of the nose to the brow is a measurement, and then brow to the hairline. So on me, I have a shorter brow than I do from here to here to here to here, but in general, these measurements are pretty similar across the board, which means that you can, in a general model, in a drawing that you're doing, kind of break it down that way, right? So if I decide that her hairline's up here and her chin's down here, then that means that third of the way up is going to be the bottom of the nose, and a third of the way up from there is going to be the eyebrow. I'm going to give her a cute little button nose. Now the brow line doesn't necessarily mean where your eyebrow is, because your brow, it's like the bone, right? If you go ahead and take your finger and stick it right above your eyeball here, you can feel your own brow bone. It's where that projection comes out. But the eyebrow kind of arcs up above that a little tiny bit. So even though my line is here, and it might be way too faint for you guys to even see, but in case you can, I am going to draw the brow a little bit above that. And then it arcs back down. Giving her almond eyes that are a little closer to the brow than below it. Because I do ultimately like my stylized drawings to hit closer to... I'm discovering this about myself as I'm drawing. Turns out, I like my stylized drawings to hit closer to proper anatomy than anime anatomy. Oh no, I like this face better already. Oh, and it's pen, so I can't erase it. It's fine, that's the point of this. It's a sketchbook spread. You can make goofs in your sketchbook. Look at how glamorous she is. This fish woman fucks. This fish woman eats bread when she's bored. Maybe the Copic marker will save her. Maybe the Copic marker will give her the edge I want her to have. She's not as cool though. Why is there a fly here? Do you see the fly? What the hell? Where am I? There are bugs in my office. She'll be her own kind of beautiful. She'll be her own kind of confident. Because this hair's given her dignified vibes. This is like a Grace Kelly now. Grace Kelly didn't eat bread. I am going to give myself the right to use a white ink over top of this after it's done, in case I want to pull out some whites here and there. Okay, so before, when we were drawing her, I had her hair down as in how hair sits in gravity, because I drew the hair before we decided that she was going to be a mermaid. Now that she's in the water, underwater, see, there's fish, I want to make that hair kind of flowy and fun, because the tail's going to get cut off, so I'm not going to be able to like draw too much of the tail, although maybe I'll have it come back around this way. Should I have her, she's going to be sitting on some rocks or something. She's on a surface. An undersea surface. Now she looks like a snake girl. It's fine. I do like a little bit of cake, so I'm gonna give her a fish butt. Okay. We got the butt here, got a love handly softness here, and then the rib cage starts. A little bit of underboob. Tasteful underboob. Not enough for YouTube to get mad. I think it's been a minute since I posted on YouTube. But I know that I'm not supposed to post videos exclusively for children, so maybe that little bit of underboob is what I need. How many times did I say words wrong in that sentence? Did I say booed? I think I said booed. We'll get back to the hair in a second. Let me figure out this tail. Do I want it to be a flared out tail over in this direction? Do I want it to kind of come down? I've always had the hardest time with mermaid tails. But their tails are like whale tails, right? So fish have tails. How do I show an example of what a fish tail looks like? Fish have tails that fan out like this, whereas whales and mammalian undersea creature, aquatic mammals, have tails that fan out like this. So whales and dolphins are like this. Sharks and fish are like this. Mermaids are also whale dolphin based on like Disney. Mermaids aren't real, so I can draw the tail however I want. It just occurred to me that there are fully naked women on, like, I can see a vagina on my screen. It's reference images. Not for this, but it's suggested images. Google is being naughty. There's a mirror behind me, so hopefully you can't see what I can see. But in case you can, now you know to look for it. Anyway, back to tails. Maybe just commit to having it down. I'll put little anemone dudes on it. Little donut buddies. Not on the tail, but on the surface that the tail is resting on. And then the tail just slopes down. Does it split? Yes! Drawing tails is hard! Okay, that's nice. Did you notice that I absolutely hid the hands because I don't want to deal with them right now? I got really good at drawing hands, and then I forgot. And if I say that sentence out loud, then you'll maybe believe that at one point I was good at drawing hands, and I don't have to prove it. I don't have to show you that truth. My hand game weak at the moment. So you gotta use it or you'll lose it, and I lost it. Also, chin game weak. Where did her chin go? Why don't I like drawing humans with chins? Oh, her face is janky, dude. I didn't mean to give you janky face. Your eye is so much bigger on the left. Maybe a bigger eyebrow? Fuck. It's probably fine. I think every artist struggles with this, where they think that everything they're doing is a very bad thing until the end. Because most images look until the very end, when you get to do all the detail and the fun stuff. Okay, hair. And I'm just gonna think about this ponytail in big chunks, right? So we have this first big chunk. Kind of looking like an S. Cute. Second big chunk that's coming out from behind. What's the shape story that I want to tell? Does it go out this way? I think it does. I'm gonna have just a ton of hair, big ass ponytail that flows out to the right. And let's see, do I want to make... How do I want to do the values in this? Because right now, her hair is dark. But it might be nice to have the background be dark. But that would require me like shading the entire background, which I don't really want to do. So instead, I'll draw coral while I think about it. Maybe I'll put a little, like, Atlantis City in the background here. And then we draw some fish-ass fish. Just gonna let them be loosey-goosey. I don't need these guys to shine. The image is not about them. I always like in images of underwater things, there's always bubbles that are bubbling up. I didn't need to do the sound effect, you guys understand. Nobody's making bubbles down there, dude. I'm drawing the bubbles because it indicates that we're underwater. And I think the reason why we do that is because every time us human beings go underwater, because we breathe air, there's some kind of apparatus or our own bodies that are generating bubbles. And so our perception of what underwater looks like always incorporates some idea of trapped bubble air. Even though mermaids aren't breathing air and fish aren't letting bubbles out. Then she continues to go back and add the bubbles. I'm not super in love with how I've done the hair here. Like this first ponytail shape, I drew it and then I moved on to something else, and then when I came back to it, I wish that I hadn't drawn it that way. I wish that I had done something different. There's not much I can do to break it up because it's pen. Can't go back and erase that. I do like making this a warbly, having her hair be kind of wavy and warbly instead of straight. That has given me some pleasure. Maybe I am fixing it. Maybe this is bringing it back to where I wanted it to be. Before we go to Marker Town, though, let me tint her tail. So you might notice that I'm not just kind of filling in willy-nilly. I'm trying to make lines that kind of echo the shape that they are around. So in this case, because it's this tubular tail, I'm trying to shade in a way that also makes it feel like the shape is a tube. Because I could just shade it beep, 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 like this, but then that would give me some like really rough lines that don't help define the form. A really great example of it being used well is on our money, American dollar bills. The way that these faces are defined is by drawing a crossed form. almost like understanding the topographical map of a person's face and drawing your lines along that map. They're really beautiful portraits. So where does the tail start having color? I'm gonna say a little past the butt. That roundness. Why is it kind of grossing me out? This area is grossing me out. There feels like there's a lump right here. Like she ate something. Like she's a snake and she's digesting something. You got a chunky tail, girl. You got a thick ass tail. It's a thick ass boy. I'm swearing too much. I can tone it down. Okay, now I think we are ready to do this guy. Copic time. I'm gonna start with the tail, just because it's a safe place to make mistakes. Just take that all the way down. Drag it all the way down. Now back here as well, although back here I'm now thinking that maybe I want to leave a section unmarkered to show how wet her tail is. I know we're underwater, but I don't know, humor me. So I'm only going to bring the marker up to about midpoint. I think I'm like too focused on this butt. Okay, under the armpit, come down. This is picking up all of that shading that I did. Softening it, boosting it. Cool. It's a really nice effect. If I can control it the right way. But I don't want it to get too dark. Moment of truth, we're getting up to the face here. I don't want to muck up the face. This is working pretty well. I'm enjoying how this is looking. I definitely want to bring the darkness up the butt a little bit more here, because it's just feeling too much about the butt. My eye should go up to here, and it's going down to here as she continues to emphasize ditties. Anyway, so I'm just kind of touching the dark parts to lock those in. That's nice. Kind of gives the pen a romantic vibe. Since everything is softened and blooming and blurred. I don't know, it's coming off to me. Coming across to me as being just a little bit romantic. I'm gonna say the light source is coming from behind her up here this way. That neck is feeling chonky. This neck is nice. This neck is chonky. I'll go back and kind of correct that right now. We can either bring it back out or push it in or do a combination of both. That's better. Wrap it down around her hairline, and now we get into the hair. I'm just gonna lay this down in the hair, see what happens, and if I want to build it up to get a darker color, I'll come back in. Similar to the tail, I want the hair to have a nice inky shine. So I'm not bringing the marker too far up. I want there to be a separation where the light is. I took off my jacket because I got really warm. Okay, hair time. What do I want to do with hair time? Let's draw all the places where I don't want shading. No, that's the opposite. The opposite of that. I also want her hair to have a little bit of a curl to it, a wave to it, like the ocean. Maybe I should do this as I go. Let's try that. I'm checking in on myself. Let me do a little Beth check-in. How do you feel about this process, Beth? Do you enjoy sketching this way? Beth, good question. I don't think so. It requires me to think about sketching a little bit differently than I normally do. And it's really hard for me to sketch just by myself. And so I need as few roadblocks as possible to help me draw more. I can't get in my own way with mediums. That said, I really do like limiting myself. I like limiting my palette, only going out with like a couple colors and a couple pens. So I don't have like every option at my fingertips. Sometimes when I'm working digitally, I can get overwhelmed because I could do any color scheme. I could pick any digital brush, and because of that, I end up doing nothing. Oh, LaCroix time. It's LaCroix time. We're gonna drink some LaCroix because it's LaCroix time. So, first impressions, and this might be just because it's a brand new thing for me and I don't normally sketch this way. I'm not having a ton of fun. I am having fun, and so maybe this will grow on me and I'll end up really liking it. But right now, I'm not chomping on the bit to do like another page like this. I have other mediums that I do feel that way about. Like just marker itself. Just working with Copic markers and fine liners in and of themselves, I really enjoy doing, and I'll flip pages and do that until I'm ready to go to sleep. But this, I'm finding to be a little bit monotonous. I'm happy with how this is turning out, on the whole. She doesn't have a chin, but you know what? Some people don't. It's a cool little technique. I've been very intrigued to try it for a long time. And the reason why I haven't tried it yet is because I was waiting to film a video. So now we're here. It turns out I might not like it that much. And that's what this show's about. We're here to find these things out. We're here to discover that about ourselves which we did not previously know. God, this is taking forever. I will say though, the more I do it, the faster I get at it. I'm getting like a little bit better at drawing hair this way. You can see I'm like loosening up, I'm having a little bit more fun. I'm adding tendrils where there weren't any before, like a little bit more confident about it. It's fun to see in your own work, like when you can see yourself improving. Like look at how kind of stiff it is up here and how playful it is down here. Maybe I can take that energy and like add it back in. Or is that going too far? It might be going too far. Okay, this will be nice. I can use the darkness of the hair to frame the lightness of the face and give a nice contrast there. So much of good image making is playing with contrast, and there's a ton of different ways that you can play with contrast. In this case, we're talking about value. We're talking about lightness and darkness. Okay. We come in here, grab all of that. Noticing that the marker isn't really pulling the color so much as it is just causing the pen where it exists to bleed. So that's nice, right? So now that we have that darkness next to her face, it makes the face pop a little bit more. I think I would be having a better time if I sketched with pen all the time, if pen was like a go-to for me. It's not. Do I want to give her fins? I do. I'm gonna give, not fins, gills. I'm gonna give her gills. Down here. That's an aesthetically nice place to have gills. And also, adding all of that hair has detracted from the butt. Alright, so now she's got some side gills. I do want to come in here and make this feel a little bit more three-dimensional. And the way we can do that is by adding a... what's it called? Not a core... Is it core shadow? Hell yeah, I'm right, core shadow. This is a way that you can get your images to feel a little bit more three-dimensional. Understanding the roundness of them and giving them a core shadow. I also earlier said I wanted to bring the tail tone up a bit more. I'm gonna push this core shadow with the marker. That might have gone too far, or it might have been beautiful. Soften this bounce light, because now the contrast is a little bit too much. And I think I might have ruined the butt. Oh no. Guys, I ruined the butt. The butt's gone. What was once a beautiful derriere is now just whisper of its former self. So this also has a coarse shadow up here. Do I want to touch this? Is that too much? I mean, it's too late. We lost the butt. All is for nothing. Maybe I'll just do this and make it feel like the butt is supposed to be in shadow. And that coarse shadow up a little bit. So right now I'm effectively shifting... I'm shifting the light. And I'm ruining it, guys. I'm messing up my drawing. I'm failing, but at least we're failing together. Ah! I need a LaCroix break. I don't want you guys to think that I think this is bad. But I wanted to love doing this. I wanted to love playing around in this medium. And I'm finding that while I like the marker, I'm really frustrated by this pen. Sometimes it doesn't draw, like down here, right? Those lines that I made, I did the same thing throughout, and some of them came out really thick and some of them came out really thin, and I'm annoyed by that. I feel like life's too short to have art supplies that surprise you in bad ways. I want to be surprised and delighted, and I am surprised and disappointed. Garrus, are you having a nice time? Is this fun for you, bud? Get off my art, please. Step back. Step back, thank you. Do I color everything with the marker? And this up and down texture is just like, hey, we're seeing this through the water. Hey, yeah, it's like a water scene. So it's good and we like it, and it's definitely not a mistake. This stuff is magic. Dr. P.H. Martin's pen white, I absolutely love this. It is probably the only totally opaque white ink that I've found. You can use gouache or poster color, that's opaque, but it's also thick. This is really thin, and it covers everything. I'm obsessed with it. When I say this stuff is opaque, you ready? You ready for the magic? Look at this guy. That's all that's on here. Oh my god. Oh! The joy which I feel when I use this stuff is outstanding. Let's give her light in her eyes. A little bit on the lips and on the nose. I want to start painting again. There's something quite magical about traditional painting and the happy accidents and mistakes that you find, and then just the process of doing it and watching other people do it is pleasurable and nice. Put a little bit of white around the edge here. Ooh, that's nice. Let's keep doing that. Maybe I have saved the butt after all. Maybe we brought the butt back. Brought the butt back. I'm telling you, man, the last 10% of the image making process is the absolute best. Everything just comes together at the end. So if you were scared or doubtful, or if you hated your piece, it just gets so much better once you get to the end. I'm really happy with how this is reading down here. There she is. Look at her. Look at that. That's not too bad, right? That's pretty fun. And look at that ass. I think something kind of cool came out of this ultimately. That's not bad. I'm not mad about it. Oof. Jesus. One thing that is a problem with this Dr. P.H. Martin's pen white is that, there's so many crumbly white bits that just get everywhere when you open it. All over my desk, it's all over my hands. Just like my high school boyfriend. If this technique tickled your fancy as much as it tickled mine, ultimately it didn't end up being something that I really want to do more of, but maybe for you, this is just right up your alley. Please tweet at me, send me images of what you made, and if you drew along with me, I'd love to see that as well. I'm live on Twitch Wednesdays and Thursdays starting at 11 a.m. Pacific. What, Garrus? I have to move this because Garrus is trying to eat it. When I say 11 a.m. though, I pretty much mean 12 p.m. because that's how I am. I hope you stick around on this channel to, watch me fail. Today was a win, though. Happy about today. Garrus, did you like failing with me? You fail every day. It's a good thing, guys. Get it out of your head that it's bad. It's good. Because every bad idea is just a get out of my way. Get out of my way. Every bad idea is just a stair step to the next good one. BRad. I want to say like BRad out. And throw up deuces. But that is absolutely not. That shouldn't come out of this.